I have a few things to say before we get into this one. I'm sick, so sorry if I sound funny, and when you see me playing bass in my bathrobe later, try not to be too hard on me in the comments. Secondly, James was able to get a new guitar. If you know, you know. Third, I will say epitome as epitone from now on. That will be the channel exclusive. Now let's get into it. The Ibanez BTB625EX. This thing is a studio machine. No, this thing is a stage warrior. No, this thing is the standard to which basses should aspire to be. Do you remember way back in my Area Pro 2 SB Elite 2 video when I basically said they don't make them like this anymore? Well, I can admit when I'm wrong. Sure, it's Indonesian. Sure, it's my least favorite brand. And sure, it's a little edgy looking. But I enjoy playing it, and that's what matters. This thing is kind of like the Schecter Stealth from a few videos back if the Schecter Stealth did everything it should have done. The matte black finish gives it the metal look that people want while having a nice satin feel to it that a lot of technical players prefer. It looks like a metalcore bass, but it plays much more like a technical death metal bass. So it's going to confuse you either way when you hear the sound demo as kind of a weird funk groove. But that shows how versatile this bass is. It can do anything. It plays well with a fast action and feels solid both in its tuning stability and its neck-through construction. The Bartolini pickups sound great for a wide variety of sounds, and the controls are straightforward yet out of the way. The one major complaint I have about this bass is that there's a lot of ringing on the strings behind the nut, but that can easily be fixed with a hair tie or a piece of foam. If you listen closely in the demo, you can hear where some of those strings are ringing out despite my muting. One thing I particularly like about this bass is the bridge. It has those quick exchange cutouts for the strings, but rather than needing to slide the string forward, you actually slide it backwards, ensuring they don't slip out when you're keeping backwards tension on the strings during winding. Little quality of life improvements like that are what ensures that you can enjoy your time with this instrument. I didn't know how to feel about the 0 fret at first. I usually just lower the action until the string is hitting the first fret anyway, but the 0 fret ensured you get that violent clanking sound on open strings even when your action may be a bit higher. Now that doesn't mean you can't get smoother tones out of this thing. A careful player can easily play something mellow on this instrument, and a master musician should be able to do that with no problem. Moving back to the aesthetic of this bass, I think this bass reflects a time in the musical community when sleek body lines and matte paint jobs were the golden standard for players, particularly in metal. This thing reminds me of 2019 when it seemed like every instrument had a transparent top and satin finish. I recall thinking it was a nice combination then too, but as time went on I kinda grew sick of it. I guess 7 years was enough time for me to get past it because while I don't love the plain matte black look, I'm certainly not repelled by it. This instrument seems to want to become a ghost in your hands. Everything is there to assist you in an ergonomic capacity. Your hands are never far from where they need to be. You can easily slide from the 1st fret to the 12th with no hang-ups on a glossy finish if you're one of the people who are sensitive to that. I'm really surprised this is my first time seeing one of these. If I saw this hanging in a store, I might consider purchasing it just to have another 5-string laying around. It's effective, easy to use, stays in tune, and plays nicely. But all of that's going to come at some cost. This bass will set you back about $1,000 brand new. Moving on to the sound demo, you will notice there's only one. This bass had relatively new steel strings on it, and the tone was not different enough to justify recording a before and after. Still, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Existential Rig Review. Remember to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video, and now on to the demonstration.